And I'm going to be reading some of Timothy Ferriss. We were in chapter 9, and it was a long holiday weekend. I'm going to refresh a little bit our memory of what we were talking about before we get to the getting to, okay? So, the last time we talked, start small, think big. We talked about dwarf entertainment. Some people are just into lavish dwarf entertainment. Danny Black, part owner of shortdwarf.com. And we covered brain quicken. And then we asked ourselves about niches. We talked about Muse Math on Books companion site. Groups, to ask our questions like groups we belong in, identifying which groups we identify with that have their own magazines. Speaking of magazines, I posted J.L. King's interview from this weekend on my page. Truly eye-opening. I learned a lot of information. If you get a chance, make sure you check out his interview. Especially if you are a new artist and have no idea what can happen as far as next steps if you go from suddenly being in a hole to over the moon. All right. Be prepared for that. Nobody teaches you really how to handle that. Those are things you have to learn on your own. All right. Okay, continuing. Step 2, brainstorm. Do not invest in products. Genius is only a superior power of seeing. John Ruskin, famed art and social critic. It should cost the customer $50 to $200. The bulk of companies set their prices at that mid-range. I believe that's where we're at right now. Around about. We need to refresh right there. Yes, we do. Okay. Especially with me being a creator of content and in sales. The main benefit should be encapsulated in one sentence. People can dislike you, and you often sell more by offending some, but they should never misunderstand you. The main benefit of your product should be explainable in one sentence or phrase, how it is different and why should I buy it. One sentence or phrase, folks. Apple did an excellent job of this with the iPod. Instead of using the usual industry jargon with GB, bandwidth, and so forth, they simply said 1,000 songs in your pocket. Yes, we talked about this. Done deal, keep it simple, and do not move ahead with a product until you can do this without confusing people. You know what? With me getting together things this weekend, none of my information. I'm going to have to go back and redo some things apparently. Won't be today though. Is one sentence. A couple of them are. But the rest are like a few sentences or paragraphs. So I forgot about that over the weekend. So one sentence going forward. All right. Simplicity. It needs to be simple. Excuse me. The bulk of companies set prices in the mid-range, and that is where the most competition is. Pricing low is short-sighted because someone else is always willing to sacrifice more profit margin and drive you both bankrupt. I just did a video on how Red Lobster down the street is closed. gone. Okay? They priced their shrimp too low for all you could eat shrimp. Okay. Besides perceived value, there are three main benefits to creating a premium high-end image and charging more than the competition. Number one, higher pricing means that we can sell fewer units and thus manage fewer customers and fulfill our dream lines. It's faster. Number two, higher pricing attracts lower maintenance customers, better credit, fewer complaints, questions, fewer returns, etc. It's less headache. This is huge. Hello, Trinity Vaughn. Nice to meet you, darling. Welcome to the YouTube channel, love. Higher prices also creates higher profit margin, safer. When I create content, a lot of times, and Val has a book that says charge more. She said, charge what you're worth. Don't let nobody cheat you. Don't let nobody talk you down out of your pricing. Even when I owned the bed and breakfast, people would try to cheat me with lower prices, and very valuable lessons to be learned there. Okay, so yeah, just charge from the jump what you're worth, whether other folks perceive it or not. I personally aim for an 8 to 10x markup, which means a $100 product can't cost me more than $10 to $12.50. If I had to use the commonly recommended 5x markup with Brain Quicken, I would have gone bankrupt within 6 months due to a dishonest supplier and late magazine. We had talked about that. The profit margin saved it, and within 12 months, it was generating up to $80,000 per month. High has its limits, however, it's the pre-unit prices above a certain point. Prospects need to speak to someone on the phone before they are comfortable enough to make the purchase. This is contradicted on our low information diet. I have found that a price range of 50 to 200 per sale provides the most profit for the least customer service hassle. Price high and then justify. I'm glad he said that. So I did a package this weekend. People were asking about book interviews and things of that nature. So to book an interview, depending upon who you are, I went ahead to book the time with me. If I don't know you, or it's nobody I've studied, or something like that, and I want to do extra research, and depending upon when, where, what, or how, I went ahead and I set up what is called a booking link on my Etsy page, Dulcia Secrets Arts. So to even, and I don't like to waste time, so to even book me, I listed what all is needed, research that I'm going to have to do, and what the fee is just to get started. And that does not count towards whatever other cost I got, depending upon what the request is that you have for the booking. Okay. Because people will use your time for free all day long if you let them. Yes. All right. It should take no more than 3 to 4 weeks to manufacture. That is critically important for keeping costs low and adapting to sales demand without stockpiling product in advance. I will not pursue any product that takes more than 3 to 4 weeks to manufacture, and I recommend aiming for 1 to 2 weeks from order placement to shippable product. Amazon, in regards to their books, when I write them, they have a pretty good turnaround time. It is print on demand. And normally the turnaround time, depending upon the book size, print, things of that nature, is 1 to 3 weeks. So for the thicker books, it's about 3 weeks. And for the books that are not as thick, it's about 1 to 2 weeks. So that's a good turnaround time as far as print on demand. So I can see how that fits into some things. Let's see here. How do you know how long something takes to manufacture? Contact contract manufacturers who specialize in the type of products you're considering. Ooh, this is good information. Thomasnet.com. Call a related manufacturer, for example, Toilet Boys, if you need a referral to a related manufacturer you cannot find. Toilet cleaning solutions, still no luck. Google different synonyms for your product in combination with organization and association to contact the appropriate industry organizations. Ask them for referrals to contract manufacturers and for the names of their trade magazines, which often contain advertisements for contract manufacturers and related services provider will need for your virtual architect later. Request pricing from the contract manufacturers to ensure the proper markup is possible. Determine the per unit cost of production for 100, 500, 1,000, and 5,000 units. I don't need that quite yet. I don't see using that with the lingerie line, but definitely alcohol, branding, and things of that nature, that would come in handy. It should be fully explainable in a good online frequently asked question. Here is where I really screwed up in my product choice with Brain Quicken. Even though ingestibles have enabled my new rich life, I would not wish them on anyone. Why not? You get 1,000 questions from every customer. Can I eat bananas with your product? Will it make me fart during dinner? On and on, ad nauseam. Choose a product that you can fully explain in a good online frequently asked question. If not, the task of traveling and otherwise forgetting about work becomes very difficult, or you end up spending a fortune on call center operators. Facebook not playing with y'all. The last time I checked, they didn't even have call center operators. And they make a ton of money. Understanding these criteria, a question remains, how does one obtain it? Now, that was a few years ago that I checked to see about them having one. About 3 years ago when I first dropped my first book with J.L. King, Supreme Reign Love Redefined. I had issues and they had no call center operators. Okay, let's see. Understanding these criteria, a question remains, how does one obtain a good used product that satisfies them? There are 3 options we'll cover in ascending order of recommendation. Option 1, resell a product. And I read through this briefly before I got on here with you guys. Hello, Jonathan. Hey, Neil again, darling. I'm glad he's bringing this up because I always get a email. I want to say his name is William Rivera. I think that's his name. And he does a bunch of selling on Amazon, from what I understand. And I've watched a few of his, 3 of his videos. So, and it's talking about reselling products and people. And I'm in one of the groups, although I've read and I've connected with them a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then a couple of people have asked me about sales, how I'm doing, and other things. So I'm glad to hear it from Tim Ferriss so I can have a clear idea, okay? Instead of just jumping in to things, okay? And saying, oh, they said this is a good idea. Let me hop on that bandwagon. No, let's do some reading. Okay. Resell a product. Purchasing an existing product at wholesale and reselling it is the easiest route, but also the least profitable. I'm going to say it again. Purchasing an existing product at wholesale and reselling it is the easiest route, but also the least profitable. Folks will have you out here thinking you about to get you a whole lot of money, selling you kits and classes and everything else. Okay, so that's why I repeated that to you. They are selling you The dream honey. It is the fastest to set up, but the fastest to die off due to price competition with other resellers. The profitable lifespan of each product is short unless an exclusively agreement prevents others from selling it. Reselling is, however, an excellent option for secondary back-end products that can be sold to existing customers or cross-sold to new customers online or on the phone. To purchase at wholesale, use these steps. Contact the manufacturer and request a wholesale price list, generally 40% off retail and terms. If a business tax ID number is needed, print out the proper forms from your state's Secretary of State website and file for an LLC, which I prefer, or similar protective business structure for $100 to $200. Do not purchase product until you have completed step 3 in the next chapter. It is enough at this point to confirm the profit margin and have product photos and sales literature. That's reselling. Not much more to it. That's it. So if you had questions about LLC and things of that nature and how to get started in wholesaling, there you go. But it's also letting you know up front, this might happen after. Option 2, license a product. I not only use all the brains that I have, but all that I can borrow. Woodrow Wilson. Some of the world's best known brands and products have been borrowed from someone or someone else. We talked about this. Remember, this is a refresher. It's a brand new week. The basis for the energy drink Red Bull came from a tonic in Thailand, and the Smurfs were brought from Belgium. Pokemon came from the land of Honda. The band Kiss made millions in record and concert sales, but the real profit has been in licensing, granting others the right to produce hundreds of products with their names and image in exchange for a percentage of sales. There are no two parties involved in a licensing deal, and a member of the new rich could be either. First, there is the inventor of the product called the licensor, who can sell others the right to manufacture, use, or sell his or her product, usually for 3 to 10% of the wholesale price, usually around 40% of retail. For each unit sold, invent, let someone else to do the rest and cash checks. Not a bad model. The other side of the equation is the person interested in manufacturing and selling the inventor's product for 90 to 97% of the profit, the licensing. This is, for me and most new rich, more interesting. Licensing is, however, deal-making intensive on both sides and a science unto itself. Creative contract negotiation is essential, and most readers will run into problems. If it's their first product, for real-world case studies on both sides, ranging from Teddy Ruxpin to Tybo, I remember both of them. I'm telling my age now. And full agreements with actual dollar amounts, visit 4hourblog.com for how to sell inventions without prototypes or patents to how to secure rights. I need to visit that website. To products as a no-name beginner. It's all there. The economics are fascinating. The profits can be astounding. In the meantime, we will focus on the least complicated and most profitable option open to the most people, product creation. Oh, I love product creation. Let's go. Creation is a better means of self-expression than possession. It is through creating, not possessing, that life is revealed. Vida D. Scudder, Vida-D-Scudder, The Life of the Spirit in the Modern English Poets. I've learned a new poet today. Screenshot that real quick. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay. Creating a product is not complicated. Create sounds more involved than it actually is. If the idea is a hard product, an invention, it is possible to hire mechanical engineers or industrial designers on elance.com. That sounds like a website I might need to be on. I'm going to have to check it out. To develop a prototype based on your description of its function and its appearance. If you find a generic or stock product made by a contract manufacturer that can be repurposed or positioned for a special market, it's even easier. Have them manufacture it. Stick a custom label on it for you, and presto, new product. This later example is often referred to as private labeling. Have you ever seen a massage therapist's office with its own line of vitamin products or the Kirkland brand at Costco private labeling in action? Oh, okay. It is true that we'll be testing marker response without manufacturing. But if the test is successful, manufacturing is the next step. This means we need to keep in mind setup costs, per-unit costs, and order minimums. Innovative gadgets and devices are great, but often require special tooling, which makes the manufacturing startup costs too expensive to meet our criteria. Putting mechanical devices aside and forgetting about welding and engineering, there is one class of product that meets all of our criteria, has a manufacturing lead time of less than a week in small quantities, and often permits not just an X to 10X markup, but a 20 to 50X markup. No, not heroin or slave labor. Heroin. No, not heroin. No, I think heroin was the right word. Too much bribing and human interaction required information. Information products are low cost, fast to manufacture, and time consuming for competition to duplicate. Consider that the top selling non information products, whether exercise equipment or supplements, have a useful lifespan of 2 to 4 months before imitators flood the market. I studied economics in Beijing for 6 months and observed firsthand how the latest Nike sneaker or Callaway golf club could be duplicated and on eBay within a week of first appearing on shelves in the US. This is not an exaggeration, and I am not talking about a lookalike product. I mean an exact duplicate for 1/20th the cost. I said in one of my videos, I don't even show products to people unless they have purchased them. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's a tough market. Reflect the competitive and profit margin advantage of information products, no down payment, cartoon sheets, attacking anxiety and depression, Lucinda Bassett, personal power, Tony Robbins. I know from conversations with the principal owners as one of the above products that more than 65 million worth of information moved through their doors in 2002. Their infrastructure consisted of fewer than 25 in-house operators. The rest of the infrastructure, ranging from media purchases to shipping, was outsourced. Their annual revenue per employee is more than 2.7 million. Incredible. On the opposite end of the market size spectrum, I know a man who created a low budget how-to DVD for less than $200 and sold it to owners of storage facilities who wanted to install security systems. It's hard to get more niche than that. In 2001, selling DVDs that cost $2 to duplicate for $95 a piece through trade magazines, he made several $100,000 with no employees. Wow. But I'm not an expert. If you aren't an expert, don't sweat it. First, expert in the context of selling products means that you know more about a topic than the purchaser. No more. It is not necessity to be the best, just better than a small target number of your prospective customers. Let's suppose that your current dream line to compete in the 1,150-mile Iditarod Dodge sledging race in Alaska, oh Lord, requires 5,000 to realize. If there are 15,000 readers and even 33% can be convinced of your superior expertise and skill X and spend $100 for a program that teaches it, that is $5,000. Bring on the Huskies. Those 50 customers are what I call the minimal customer base, the minimum number of customers you need to convince of your expertise to fulfill a given dreamline. Second, expert status can be created in less than 4 weeks if you understand basic credibility indicators. It is impossible to learn how the PR pros phase, resume points, and position their clients. See the box text later in this chapter to learn how. The degree to which you personally need expert status also depends on how you obtain your content. There are 3 main options. 1, create the content yourself. often via paraphrasing and combining points from several books on a topic. 2. Repurpose content that is in the public domain and not subject to copyright protection, such as government documents and material that predates modern copyright law. 3. License content or compensate an expert to help create content. Fees can be one-time and paid up front or royalty-based 5 to 10% of net revenue, for example. If you choose option 1 or 2, you need expert status within a limited market. Let's assume you are a real estate broker, and I'm going to have to read this book several times, but by the time I'm done, it's going to be audio. I can just listen to it on the bus, in the car, walking around the neighborhood. So that's the benefit. If you choose option 1 or 2, you need expert status within a limited market. Let's assume you are a real estate broker and have determined that, like yourself, most brokers want a simple but good website to promote themselves and their business. If you read and understand that the 3 top-selling books on homepage design, you will know more about that topic than 80% of your readership of a magazine for real estate brokerage. If you can summarize the content and make recommendations specific to the needs of the real estate market, 0.5 to 1.5% response from an ad you place in the magazine is not unreasonable to expect. Use the following questions to brainstorm potential how-to or informational products that can be sold to your market using your expertise or borrowed expertise. Aim for a combination of formats that will lend itself to $50 to $200 pricing, such as a combination of 2 CDs, 30 to 90 minutes each, a 40-page transcription of the CD, screenshot, and a 10-page quick start guide. Digital delivery is perfectly acceptable. In some cases, ideal if you can create a high enough perceived value. I haven't bought a CD in a long time. I'm a live stream lady. I'll see what can be done differently. But I think I'm already doing that like I kind of did the grants. All right. So how can you tailor a general skill for your market, what I call niching down, or add to what is being sold successfully in your target magazines? Think narrow and deep rather than broad. Number 2, what skills are you interested in that you and others in your markets would pay to learn? Become an expert in this skill for yourself and then create a product to teach the same. Oh, I do that. I'm in the middle of that already. If you need help or want to speed up the process, consider the next question. What experts could you interview and record to create a sellable audio CD? These people do not need to be the best, but just better than most. Offer them a digital master copy of the interview to do with or sell as they like. This is often enough. And or offer them a small upfront or ongoing royalty payment. Okay, so this kind of is like how audiobooks work. Use Skype.com with Hot Recorder. More on these and related tools and tricks to record these conversations directly to your PC and send the MP3 file to an online transcription service. Screenshot. Do you have a failure to success story that could be turned into a how-to product for others? Consider problems you've overcome in the past, both professional and personal. I'm running a little over, but I want to get to this last part and then we'll do questions and answers a later day. The Expert Builder, how to become a top expert in 4 weeks. Oh God, that sounds delicious. It's time to obliterate and cult of the expert. Let the PR world scorn me. First and foremost, there is a difference between being perceived as an expert and being one. In the context of business, the former is what sells products, and the latter, relative to your minimal customer base, is what creates good products and prevents returns. It is possible to know all there is to know about a subject, medicine, for example. But if you don't have MD at the end of your name, few will listen. The MD is what I term a creditable indicator. These are important, like names like New York Times bestseller Amazon bestseller. Those names are important. Okay. Let's see here. Yep, few will listen. The so-called expert with the most credible indicators, whether acronyms or affiliations, is often the most successful in the marketplace, even if other candidates have more in-depth knowledge. This is the matter of superior positioning, not deception. How then do you go about acquiring credibility indicators in the least time possible? Emulating the client grooming techniques of some of the best PR firms in New York City and Los Angeles isn't a bad place to start. You didn't hit two of the big ones. Wait. It took a friend of mine just 3 weeks to become a top relationship expert who, as featured in Glamour and other national media, has counseled executives at Fortune 500 companies on how to improve their relationship in 24 hours or less. How did she do it? She followed a few simple steps that created a credibility snowball effect. You can do the same. Join 2 or 3 related trade organizations with official sounding names. In her case, she chose the Association for Conflict Resolution and the International Foundation for Gender Education, acrnet.org, ifge.org, in case you wondered. This can be done online in 5 minutes with a credit card. Oh, okay. Read the 3 top selling books on your specific topic. On your topics, search historical New York Times bestseller list online and summarize each on one page. Give one free 1 to 3 hour seminar at the closest well-known university. Ooh, that sounds fun. Using posters to advertise. To do the same at branches at 2 well-known big companies, AT&T, IBM, etc. Those might not be the type of companies I want to aim for in my profession. Located in the same area, I'd have to do some research. Tell the company that you have given seminars at University X or X College and are a member of those groups from step 1. Emphasize that you are offering it to them for free to get additional speaking experience outside of academics and will not be selling products or services. Record the seminars from 2 angles for later potential use as a CD and DVD product. Optional, offer to write 1 or 2 articles for trade magazines related to your topic, citing what you have accomplished in steps 1 and 3 for credibility. If they decline, offer to interview a known expert and write the article. I can take a note. I need to do all this here on this paper. It's to get your name listed as a contributor. Join ProfNet, which is a service that journalists use to find experts to quote for articles. Getting PR is simple if you stop shouting and start licensing. Start listening. Stop shouting and start listening. Use steps 1, 3, and 4. Somebody asked me if I had my promo package ready, and I told them I had to work on it. I mean, I got pamphlets and stuff, but not an actual promo package. And I assume they're media kit. So yeah, I'm gonna need that. Use step 1, 3, and 4 to demonstrate credibility and online research to respond to journalist queries. Done properly, this will get you featured in media ranging from small local publications to the New York Times and ABC News. Becoming a recognized expert isn't difficult, so I want to remove that barrier now. Well, hallelujah. I am not recommending pretending to be something you're not. I can't. Expert is nebulous media speak and so overused as to be indefinable. In modern PR terms, proof of expertise in most fields is shown with group affiliation, client list, writing credentials, and media mentions, not IQ points or PhDs. Presenting the truth is the best in the best light, but not fabricating it is the name of the game. See you on CNN. This is beautiful. I'm gonna end there for today because I've got to order a chariot and go to my next location. And our next step would be questions and answers, and then moving to chapter 10. I do have to be at the Libby tomorrow, so we had quite a bit going on last week with the holidays, but I am so glad to be back and taking the time to go through um, the rest of 9 with you all and getting complete with 9 so we can move on to 10. Okay? Awesomeness. Okay, my loves. Have a blessed evening. And I will see you later, darlings. Mwah! Oh, Brody Hoops. Good to see you, darling. Much love, sugar. I'm going to end the session now, and but the 4-hour work week, and then I will add it to the playlist as soon as it's done. And then we are almost done with chapter 9. We got question and answers, and then we will move on with chapter 2 before the weekend, since we are already on hump day. Happy hump day. Yes, indeed. All right. Mwah.